So I want to get onto vanadium production. You put a press release out recently. You've been doing a bit of work on your vanadium properties. Can you give us an update on those? Is everything going according to plan?
Yeah, I mean, the key issue with our vanadium production has just been the volatility in vanadium prices. They went up to nearly $30 a pound, and now they're down, $10, $11 per pound. So that's been the biggest challenge for us. But we were not expecting the volatility, but it was a little more volatile than we had expected it. We thought that it'd be a little stronger than it is right now. We are producing high quality, probably the best quality we've ever produced. We're producing, around 150,000 pounds per month, or north of that, towards 120, or just about 200, between 150 200, in that range. So it's gone very well. We're pleased with our cost structures, but the bouncing between 10 and 30 is pretty extreme. Even though vanadium prices, even a few years ago, were down $2.50, $3 per pound. So it's naturally a very volatile metal.
For sure. I think you called it a wild ride last time we spoke. But so what would the price need to get down to before you'd reconsider your vanadium projects?
Look, we haven't, informed the market exactly what our production costs are, but I can tell you that, as I said, we're pleased with what our cost structures are, with our pond recovery, and even with our test mining. It is our goal to be, one of the world's lowest cost producers, primary producers. I mean, Largo is down around, I think, around $4 or $5 per pound. It'll be my goal to get towards that. But I would say that as long as vanadium prices are, 10 or north of 10, we'll continue to produce from the ponds, maybe lower than that. But, so that give people sort of a general indication of where we are. But we do plan to continue to develop our vanadium production capabilities and focused on low production costs to be as sustainable as we can be in a highly volatile sector.
That's a nice generic statement, but how do we work out? How do we get a sense of how things? You got the tailings. You've got is it 3 projects?
Well, we've got probably 6 or 7 different mines, but the reason you can't just say what it costs is, a lot of these projects are uranium vanadium mines, and so it depends on what the price of uranium is. When you start looking at uranium prices of $30 per pound, you're going to be a lot more dependent on the price of vanadium. So the reason is it can be highly variable, and that's why I'm a little elusive there. Yeah. If you start looking at uranium prices of $50, $60, $65 per pound, that pays probably 60, 70% of the mining and processing. So, that's why I'm elusive. It depends really on the uranium prices largely for the long-term uranium production and economics of production from our projects going forward.
So do you think that there's going to be a vanadium deficit anytime soon? Because the price, as I say, is very volatile. It's back, up 30, back down to 10. Can you see or forecast any sense of what the future looks like on the market?
Yeah, look. Everyone seems to be wrong on the vanadium, but I think the main reason that it dropped off so quickly was the China's not fully regulating and monitoring these rebar standards. I think when it pinched up to $30 or near $30, people thought that was going to go in an absolute way, and I don't think it did. So there hasn't been a lot of new production come online. So I think this is something that is really the volatility as of late has really been driven largely by the Chinese and how they implement this rebar standard, and also some softening of the China economy. So,
Okay.
so I don't know if that helps, but that's my main belief right now on why we've seen the volatility we have.
Okay. And with regards to toll milling, have you been approached by any of your neighbors to provide services?
Yeah, look, we've been approached by a number of different groups. They want a toll milling agreement, and I've been changing the tack on that front. I've been telling people that if they have a property that we believe may be economic in these current circumstances, we'll consider a joint venture. If they want line of sight ability to have improved sort of priority access to the mill, we'll do that on a joint venture basis. Or considered on a joint venture basis. That we do that for a couple of reasons. One, it's our mill, and a lot of these smaller companies, have market caps of 10, 20, $30 million, and we've got a $300-400 million mill. The other thing is that when we're operating in Colorado, particularly, in Utah. It's a very sensitive environment to operate in with the regulators and with the public. And if we are in joint venture and we have 51% and we're managing that joint venture, I can be assured that we're going to be doing things at the highest possible standard from an environmental perspective, a permitting perspective, and a health and safety perspective. So that's one of the reasons in the change of tack to the joint venture approach. If we actually just buy uranium ore from these smaller operators, what if they don't have all the permits? What if they do something with those projects like pump the water out of their mines when they don't have a discharge permit? So part of our approach is protecting our interests.
Okay, seems reasonable. So I did mean to ask you specifically about LaSal, because there was a question which one of the the viewers sent in, which was what's the actual status there? I know you sent a press release out. You're quite pleased with the numbers, but can you talk specifically about LaSal?
Yeah, well, we're still doing some of our test mining, but we're also doing work to sort of maintenance work that they're opening up various parts of the LaSal mine, the Pandora mine. Over the Beaver mine to make sure that those mines are in good working order, have multiple areas that in a restart circumstance, we can have multiple areas that miners can work in so we can ramp up production quicker and faster. So, but we're still kind of going, step by step, cautiously, because we really need the long-term uranium contracts to give us that, to take out some of those bumps, to go into full commercial production at those sites.
Right. So you're cautiously moving forward.
Exactly. We're cautiously moving forward in the test mining and the maintenance mode of getting those mines ready for an increase into commercial production.
Right. So that says to me, what you've just talked about says to me, you've kind of got your hands full with all of the assets you currently have. Is there any intention to expand beyond the US borders? Have you identified any other targets, or is it just let's focus on what we got?
Yeah. Look, I think, as I've said, I've worked all over the world. I know most of the projects. I've operated a number of them. I'm certainly not afraid of jumping the US border, because I've spent half my career mining mines outside the United States. It's kind of my belief that if we do get relief from Section 232, that will put us in a better position to do that. If we're in production sooner, quicker, with positive cash flow, that is going to put us in a very strong position in the future for merger and acquisition activity, particularly outside of the United States.
So let's finish up on a positive note. The sentiment in the market seems to be very positive. I think nuclear is being more and more seen as a clean energy, a green energy. I think you've said that, others have said that, but there's always been some resistance in the marketplace. you know, you've got people like Bill Gates and even Elon Musk to a degree talking about nuclear as a, you know, part of the solution, along with other renewables. So what's your hope for this space over the next 12 months?
Yeah, look, I think certainly there's positive sentiment coming in and from Elon Musk and Bill Gates. I mean, the people listen to them and follow them. You know, so I do think there is a reemergence and a recommitment of a number of countries and political leaders and private, you know, industry leaders that are basically, you know, supporting and again continuing to endorse the importance of nuclear power in the world. And I think renewables are great. I think that, but they you know, they have their restrictions. They're making great strides. But if you're really serious about, you know, global emissions and global warming, but particularly global emissions, you cannot get there with certainty without nuclear power as a significant component of that. But with like all power sources and stuff, it's a mixture, and it depends on where you're at and how many people, you know, you're trying to supply electricity to, you know, the size of the populations. You know, there's a number of variables, and you need to look at this objectively to come up with the correct mix for the circumstances at the time, and evolve as new technology emerges. Right. So I think that the next year or two is going to continue to improve, even without relief under Section 232. As I said earlier, the world market is improving. We were just tired of waiting. We were tired of waiting, and we had this you know, Section 232, and we elected to submit the petition. And I have no regrets of that, for doing that.
Well, it will be interesting to see. So that we've got 80, 90 days to go. So it's just been submitted by the DOC. Is that right?
Yeah, you know, and look, you know, is it 80 or 90, or is it 5, or is it 1? You know, we don't know. You know, we don't know how long it will take for a decision. As I said, we believe we've done the right thing. We believe that we've got a good chance of relief. We think very confident, but we don't know. And you know, there's a range of possibilities here that we're waiting to get more clarity on.
Mark, thanks very much for going through that in detail. Some of those questions, like I say, are from the viewers and fans of energy fuels. So thanks for answering those. But it sounds like you are moving ahead. Obviously, 232, you know, will happen one way or the other. But the market seems to be growing, and that's good for energy fuels investors and potential investors.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. And we're here for the long term. And as I said, I want this to be the star performer in the sector in the world.
I appreciate your time. Thanks, Mark. We'll catch up with you again real soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Bye.
Thank you very much for watching our video. We do aim to give you informed and intelligent information with which to make your investment decisions. So if you liked what you just saw, please give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more insightful, in-depth, honest and unbiased interviews, then please click the subscribe button. So thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.